U.S. created a facility in Pakistan for the spy plane, and Eisenhower at the time was president and did not want American pilots to pilot the planes because if the pilots were captured, then they could be a sign of aggression. Eisenhower used British pilots so America couldn't be accused that the missions were compromised. Their first two missions together until the Soviet Union was a success, so Eisenhower decided to do two more missions before the four-power Paris summit, but the last two missions were flown by American pilots. First mission was to gather intel about the strategic bombs that were stationed in the Soviet Union. The mission was successful, however, the pilot was seen, but it left Soviet Union's airspace. America still went ahead with the last mission, even though the other mission was almost a failure. The U.S. created the UT plane, which was a single-seat type of jet that was predominantly used for spying, which made the jet very famous. The jet was capable of reaching high altitude, so it wouldn't be discovered by radars and air defenses. And the jet could even take pictures. So whenever the jet was over enemy's territory, it could take pictures and see their plans. And during the Cold War, the Soviet Union isolated themselves in other parts of Europe, so America couldn't get it on ground at the time. So they had to go through the air. The American pilot who crashed the plane was named Gary Powers. Luckily, he survived, but was later captured after his crash and was interrogated by the Soviet Union. And he was in prison in the Soviet Union for 2 years. And after his 2 years imprisoned, he finally came to America. But he was hated and criticized by the American people for still living after his interrogation with the Soviet Union. Basically, the American people thought Powers wasn't loyal to America and told the Soviet Union America's secrets. And he was still hated and criticized until a year later after his death. But only because his story was verified that he did not tell the Soviet Union's America's secrets. And 2 years later, after his story was clarified, he was awarded a POW medal and a CIA Director's Medal. And during the time of his criticism, he moved to California to be a pilot for a traffic helicopter for a Los Angeles radio station. And on August 1st, 1997, he was killed in a helicopter crash because it ran out of fuel. After Powers' story came out, people found out that Powers was exchanged for another Soviet Union spy named Rudolf Abel, and during his crash he tried to commit suicide before the Soviet Union could get him. The capturing of Powers, leading up to the Four Powers Summit, there was tension between the U.S. and the Soviet Union. During the summit, Soviet Union leader Nikita was expecting an apology from Eisenhower, but instead of an apology, Eisenhower made a plan for the UN to inspect nations of any sign of military development and aggression action.